My name is Jim Hattori. I'm with Leica Geosystems. I'm the regional manager for Canada on the building construction products. But with our other iCON portfolio that we have some other things that will go into machine control, some stuff with lasers and whatnot. But I manage the robotic solutions and some of our GPS layout solutions for doing layout on a construction site. So just a quick through a PowerPoint that we have here. Basically, we're starting from ground up. So for our layout of the utilities, doing the grading, digging the footings, we're starting from the bottom of the building, basically working up to the top of the building. If it's going through the MEP, the steel work, capping off the building. All these products can help the contractor do his layout and be much more accurate than using a tape. So we have a couple segments next in from our portfolio of our products. We have 4 pillars of our product. We'll basically go through the iConstruct. We have a connection with telematics. Our iControl is going to be with our machine control. And then our iConsult is going to be done with our support, our customer care packages that we sell to help keep the software always up to date. Any new software that would come out with our package that we have, it's just a free update. You go into My World and you can update it through. So the iConstruct part is our GPS and our robotic layout solutions. Then our iConnect is our telematics, or using our My World space to bring in your updated software. You can talk from the office to the field with the iConnect. Next is our iControl, going to our machine control, if it's 2D or 3D. And then with our iConsult, going back to our customer care package, support, anything to keep the contractor going. It's very important that we don't want to have anybody having downtime. So we have a fantastic dealer network throughout Canada that they're all trained and certified up to do pretty much any of the support in the field that we would actually do from Leica. If they can't answer any of the questions, then we'll jump in and help them out. Obviously, we don't want to slow anybody down. And I guess a big part of this is because of our software. We have a build software, we have a site software. They're about 95% the same. They look and feel the same. So if we're connecting to a robot, it'll look the same exact if we're connecting to a GPS unit. We don't need a second software to talk to a GPS system versus a robotic system. I know a lot of the other, our competitors will have a different touch and feel to the software just to get around some of the things to make it work. Ours is just connecting to a device, robot, a manual instrument, GPS, and even to our office. Our office software can talk right into our software in the field. So just a quick couple things that we have in our robots. We have a Robot 50, that's our kind of more generic, it's a one button, turn it on, and then we'll use the software to connect to that robot to make it simple. It's got a shorter range for reflectorless, so about 250 meters is our range on doing a reflectorless shot, not to a prism. And our accuracy at about 100 meters is around maybe 2 to 3 millimeters of error. So it's very, very accurate for not having a prism to bounce back. It also has our power search mode that comes on all our robots. So for losing the prism, it'll be a one button touch. It'll find back to our prism to get us laying out again. It can also be used with our machine control software. And then the communication handles, we have 2 different ones. One will be through a Wi-Fi handle or through a Bluetooth. Using Bluetooth, it keeps it proprietary that you won't get anybody's interference. It's like pairing your phone to your vehicle, your car. So you won't have any interference. Wi-Fi, you can have a little bit of stepping on with each other. So we really prefer using a Bluetooth handle. Then our Robot 60's got a couple more bells and whistles. It's got a much longer reflectorless range of 1,000 meters. So it's nice to have that if you have control points on a building site. That could be on a neighboring building, it could be on a water tower off in the distance. Anything that you want to use where you don't want to actually have to go set up some type of a control point, onto another structure. You can just shoot it reflectorless, and you can bring in your control. It's got the keypad compared to the one-button setup, so we can actually make this a manual instrument instead of a robot. We can use it in both manners. It makes it a little bit easier on some aspects of doing some quick layouts. The cube search is basically going into a zone where we lose the prism. It'll only go back into a certain area that you designate on how big of a search area you want to go back and find that prism, instead of having it spin all the way around in a 360-degree manner to find what's reflecting back. And then our setup pilot option is really a nice option to have. We can put out, minimum we have to have is 3 prisms as control. Once we tie those 3 points down, we can go anywhere on the job site, hit one button, it'll orientate to those 3 points, as long as it can see them. So I would always recommend people put out 5 or 6 points. They can always be on that job site in the same accuracy from what they're laying out from one side of the building to the other. And I know a lot of this, what I'm saying here with these robots, is sounding like it's just for big buildings. We have a lot of people that buy these just to do residential footings and easy, simple layouts. And it's a huge tool to have, where instead of always calling that surveyor in to do that work, they can do it themselves. And that's a big plus. So you're not waiting on another crew to come in to do that initial staking, or to get a wall line so they could run it for just laying out concrete footings. So a lot of our customers are in the concrete business. Simple, quick, easy. Our training is maybe 3 hours on a job site when we do a training for a customer, and they're up and rolling. The biggest question we'll get back is how do we turn it off? Because they want to shut it down and go home. So that's the simple things they forget to show. This is our manual instrument. It's not a robot. You have to have a 2-man, basically, crew on this. Same interface, but instead of having our tablet, we can run it right off of the manual instrument. So it's a much more affordable, smaller projects. You're not going to have the range that you're going to work with compared to a robot. But it's a very simple onboard icon, same as what you see on our office software and on our tablets. So just going through a couple of the applications that I've been talking about is, we're laying out from footings. A point is a point coming out of any CAD file. A line is a line. So I always ask people, what are they doing? How are they doing it now? And if we're talking to an MEP customer for mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, they're laying out points and lines so they can hang their facilities, put them in the right place, so they're, it doesn't have any conflict later on that goes on in that building. And then, the gear's used to control our machines also. So if we're laying out footings, if we're laying out walls, we're laying out electrical, same software. No difference on any of it. It's just on how we bring in the CAD file, or we can actually sketch it in on our tablet and lay it out from that sketch. So you can draw in your own drawings also. Makes it very simple. So this goes a little bit more into our BIM 3D. So now we're going into the big building stuff again. BIM 3D modeler, viewer, things like that. We can actually lay out now with using a new file format and a layout objects app that's on our software of using 3D files. So you no longer just have to work off of a 2D plan and work up. We can pull the wall segments, we can pull the electrical and the plumbing, all that. It'll be, say 3 meters off the ground up in our upper part of a building that's hidden. We can put the penetrations through. The robot can actually turn and put a dot to that point where you're going to go and mark that point instead of using a prism. And it makes it very simple. Or we could just lay it on the ground and send it up with a laser pointer. Very simple. And keeping our workflow, that's a big part of it. We want to keep everybody going at the same time. You don't want to slow down the next tray that's going to come through. So the faster that layout can get done, the faster the facilities can get put in and be put in correctly for the next trade to come back through and to do their work. So it's just a graph, a little bit of, going from the bottom up again. Our points to lay out is to get into the footings and foundation, to get the grading, to get the grade set correctly. And then we're going to go back out. You can see that we're into the building segment of the steel work and the concrete, and going inside of the building to laying out the interior portion of the building. So same software, no difference. And what we're finding a lot is a lot of these trades are sharing information because of the whole BIM world, where the plumber can lay out the electrical guy's work right behind them if it's in their contracts. So they can help each other out to make sure that they don't have conflicts down the road of, I've got a steam pipe coming through a certain area and there's supposed to be a water pipe there, or a sewer pipe that's coming down from the next level, or the electrical lines. There's no conflicts. We're all working on the same map, the same design, and keep everything in the same build. So that's just a quick, overview of what we have at Leica. And you can stop by our booth. We have a lot more information on brochures and catalogs and whatnot. We've got a robot here to do any demos, just to show you real quick what we can do for layout, how it looks in the touch and feel, and how simple this really is to use. I think in the past we all looked at surveyors as a trade that only a surveyor could run a robot. Well, that's not true anymore. Right now, we have every kind of a trade out there using our robotic systems or our competitors' systems to do their own layout. And it's not a survey part of the job that is typical for a surveyor, especially inside the building. So I think in the past, we always thought it was too difficult to learn how to do it ourselves and how to use a system like this. But stop over and we can show you a lot more.